If you enjoy what we do on these podcasts, please go to mwpnews.com. There you can see articles about some of the movies we've seen, some things that we don't talk about on podcasts, and links to ways you can support the show. Thank you. Good morning, and welcome to the Backlog Files. I am Adam. Sorry if my voice sounds a little weird. I'm getting over illness. Got a sinus infection, so I'm a little congested and coughing. So, we're back on our quest that we've been setting out on this year so far, that we keep falling behind on because of unforeseen circumstances. Namely, we're going to go through and we're going to rank all the Pokemon games. Which brings us to our next episode. Today, we're going to be talking about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Time, and Explorers of Darkness. A game that I actually recently started replaying for the sake of this, because I was a little fuzzy on it. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, when I was thinking back, I was like, there's so many things that I enjoyed about this game. Why did I hold blue and red in higher regard? Was it just that I clocked more hours in blue and red, and that was why inherently that was going to be the game that I was going to like more, with the benefit of hindsight? And replaying it, I think there are a lot of things that this game does well. It takes kind of the same existing format that existed for red and blue and kind of flips it on its head. You're a human turned into a Pokemon, and you wake up in this world, and you are now up. You have to figure out why this transformation suddenly occurred, and then how you can go back to your life, and also does it have ties to the oddities going on in the world. In this case, you get to this world, and what's I'm looking for here, the time gears are getting stolen, which is causing time to stop, and the flow of time is disrupted around the world. So you join this exploration team who's going out there to try and discover things in the world. All of that's cool. I think that this game is a lot more hand-holdy than the original, which is kind of where I fall behind on a little bit. My issue with this game is that it takes too long to get going, and in that time you spend too much trying to get to a point where the game is doing something different. And at the end of the day, I don't think there are enough changes to the fundamental gameplay loop to make the game more interesting or fun. So it does just kind of feel the same. The sentry missions early on do kind of break up the flow a little bit, which is kind of annoying. And then it's like the idea of like the like, I do like the addition of the bounties. The bounties are a cool change, and it is a little bit different. The fundamental issue that I have is there's not enough changing between the first one and this one. And then the key story aspect that's different, namely that you're part of this exploration team, it takes too long to get going. So by the time you do get going, it takes it takes a while to get there, and it's kind of hand-holded the whole time. The other thing is, I feel like there's a lot in the overworld that's too spread out to make it really, useful, so to speak. Like, the amount of places you have to travel to go and deal with something, whereas like the first game, the hub town has everything in a very small area with the exception of the dojo, and then like the area where you go to evolve up north. The key area in the center is everything you need there. The bank is there, the link shop is there, the storage is there, the shop is there. It's all on one screen. Here it's like, to get to all of that, and that is, you leave your house, you go one screen to the right, and there you are. Here it's like, you get up in the morning, in the early game, you get up in the morning, there's a cutscene, then you get told what to do, then you go out, You have to go up 2 flights of stairs, then out this front door, then down another thing, then you have to go to the left, and that's the first area, and then you have to go to the left again, and that's the second area. It feels very spread out, and I don't like that a tremendous amount. And the same goes in reverse once you get to the late game where you're starting at the other end, where it's like, okay, you have to go through as much to get there, but like, if you want to see, if you to do everything, you have to go from the bluff into the town 1, town 2, little four path road, then up, then up. It's just there's a ton of walking you have to do in the overworld to get anything done, which feels like a step back from the first game, where it's like the overworld was like area outside your house. If you go down, you go to the dungeons. If you go right, you go to the town. If you go right again, you go to the post office, and that's it. Like, it's much more simplistic, but I think the simplicity of that, simplism, is not a word. The simplicity of that really adds to the enjoyment because you're not like all of this is basically is adjusting your loadout as you go and try a new version of the world. Because that's what it is. Every time you go out, the dungeons are randomized. So really what this is, it's a dungeon crawler. Every time, it's a roguelike. Anytime you go out, you have to change your loadout. Change your team, change your items, bank your stuff so you don't lose it, buy more areas that way you can recruit more Pokemon. Like, all of these things are designed for that more strategy aspect of this game that is missing, largely from the mainline games, which is what sets it apart. Putting them on so many screens when you're trying to get yourself going to go out to a dungeon is kind of an issue. And the other thing I really encountered that was, I think, somewhat annoying, and it is a skill issue, I will concede it is a skill issue because it is my own fuck-uppery that led to this, is that on a few occasions I grabbed a bunch of tasks that you go out and complete, and you can do them all in one fell swoop. If you do, like, let's say you go to a dungeon that has 10 floors, that you can get bounty missions and regular rescue missions for 4 or 5 of the floors, go out and do them, and then you get rewards for all of it. The issue is if you die in the middle while continuing to explore, you don't get any of the rewards or the points. So you just leave a lot of stuff on the table, which is something that I encountered on a few occasions while I was trying to do that. And it's especially annoying, especially in the early game, and even while you're trying to get through the main story before you fight Primal Dialga, like, in this game, the fact that you have to go through that is kind of a bit of an annoyance when all is said and done, because it's like, why can't I just get the ones that I completed anyway? And the fact that you have to bring your partner with you is the thing that kind of sets you back, because your partner will pick fights with the wrong thing. If their IQ isn't high enough, they will not prioritize the right moves if their IQ isn't high enough. And it's just kind of a little bit of an annoyance. Whereas, like, you're trying to fight this villain or this, this rogue Pokemon, and he's like, you know what? I could do that, or I could look at this Shellos over here and try to fuck it up instead. And it's like, well, no, help me with the big strong guy and then deal with the Shellos, especially because you have a type advantage against it. Because the fucking Slugma. That literally happened to me at one point, where it's like, you have a type advantage to it, help me out here. And he turned his back and was attacking the other thing. And I'm like, motherfucker, like, help me with this. This guy's gonna kill you. And then sure enough, he did. And it's like, well, fuck. Like, it's just kind of annoying. What else have we got with this game? I do like the design of Primal Dialga. I'm a little upset that it never transferred into the mainline games. I'm also a little annoyed this game never got remade, like Mystery Dungeon DX did, which we'll talk about down the line. But by and large, I think this game is serviceable. Like, I don't think it's as good as the first. I think a lot of the small quality of life changes are less good. And that is a little bit, that's enough of a drawback for me where I'm like, I don't know. I'm enjoying my time playing it, don't get me wrong, but I do think there's room to improve on this in a way that it's like a half step back. Not a full step back where you're like, oh, fuck this game is awful. It's like a half step back. There's room for it to be better, but unfortunately it's not. But as for where we rank it, which is what we do every episode when we talk about Pokemon games, we rank them against all the rest. Let's go to our ranking and see where we are. That is not the right uh, document. This is the right document. Starting down at the bottom. At number 27, we have Hey You Pikachu. Number 26, we have Pokemon Dash. Number 25, we have Pokemon Pinball. Number 24, we have Pokemon Channel. Number 23, we have Pokemon Puzzle Challenge and Pokemon Puzzle League. Number 22, we have the trading card game for the Game Boy Color. Number 21, we have Rumble. Number 20, we have Trozy. Number 19, we have Diamond and Pearl. Number 18, we have Platinum. Number 17, we have Red and Blue. Number 16, we have Stadium. Number 15, we have Battle Revolution. Number 14, we have Stadium 2. Number 13, we have Snap. Number 12, we have Yellow. Number 11, we have Gold and Silver. Number 10, we have Crystal. Number 9, we have Ranger. Number 8, we have Pinball, Ruby and Sapphire. Number 7, we have Fire Red and Leaf Green. Number 6, we have Coliseum. Number 5, we have XD. Number 4, we have Ruby and Sapphire. Number 3, we have Emerald. Number 2, we have Mystery Dungeon Red and Blue. And number 1, we have Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Again, because it's only a half step back, and a half step back that isn't improved on when we talk next week about Explorers of Sky. I'm gonna say this is the new number 3. Mystery Dungeon, Time, and Darkness. And that is a 5 on our scale. But our next episode where we do this will be Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of the Sky. And then we will, after that, we have to move through some of the 2 other stadium games. Which would be, where's my list? Here's my list. Guardian Sign and Shadows of Omnia, and Pokepark Wii, and then we'll be into Gen 5. And we'll be out of kind of the spin-off era, because I think at that point, they kind of slowed down on the spin-offs. But until our next episode, have a great rest of your week.